guess from your perspective, as somebody who truly has understood it, lived it, awakened hundreds of people, what can you tell us about that?
When spirit ascends, grace descends. It is invariable understanding that what is the spirit rising? First and foremost, we are 93% of our body is helium. Yes?
Helium.
Helium. Which has been rather never even on our scale to measure, because we are only interested in earthly elements. Helium doesn't really belong here. Helium is part of the sun transmission. Okay, most of the sun is hydrogen, but the helium component, it makes it bearable. Okay, because so much hydrogen emanating, burning hydrogen would have burnt this earthly protection layer. So we have an electromagnetic field around the earth, which is its protection mechanism. And then there is a pillar of light passing through the entire central sun, into the core of the earth, and then looping. Now this looping is the sign that there is a cyclical process of how space, time and causation means the reason for why things are happening. It is following a code of reality. Now, what is happening in this whole process is, somewhere down the line, we have become only earthbound. Our education process told us, you came here only through a biological union, and you just happen to be birth out of Genesis, came from cellular mutation, and just you happen to be a human body. And if you are a human body, you don't have that level of clarity that you are a cosmic being. You have that remembrance only of a earthly celebration only, and it's not really a celebration. We have taken our project so seriously on our planet that everybody looks like they came here for generating enough revenues to grasp the piece of this earth. So we have forgotten how to celebrate. We have forgotten how to even live our life to the fullest creative dimension. So what is this power that is within all of us, whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, whether we have worked on it or not? Most of us are in a dormant state, because as a newborn, our frequency of Kundalini was at its peak. The Kundalini is that spirit which ascends through the central pipeline of ours and takes us back to the core of the matrix, the core of the universal light. So where is this energy which is there embedded in the inner dimension known as a subtle body? Okay, so we are not just one body, we are 7 bodies integrated, but we are biologically we only understand one body, which is the physical body, and we think we're going to find answers only by accessing the bliss chemicals which are there embedded in the brain, and it like anandamide, like dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, amphetamine. All these are part of the so-called pleasure chemicals required for us for a brief moment. But now what is ecstatic rising? We are living in an existential reality where everything is based on merit of having a desire which are being met. Everybody has a desire. If your desire is met, we feel happy. If it's not met, we feel unhappy. Simple process of, there's no stimulation for us if you don't have result. So deep down inside, we have forgotten the art of causeless joy. The art of that you're happy for no reason. You don't need a major victory or major achievement to feel good. So this simplicity, what is required for us in life, which is so inherent in a child. We robbed the child of its purity and honesty and beauty and innocence by introducing to a very rigid process where everybody is now stressed about getting the right grades, right marks to enter into a very fancy universities. There are people in Japan who are committing suicides because they couldn't get into university. So what kind of society are we promoting as so-called elevated societies, which are now all draped in expensive branded clothing, and but don't have the caliber to access their own inner essence. It's like saying we have arrived in life with style, now we can afford all the expensive clothing material, all the jewels, all the luxuries of life. But the greatest luxury which is inherent within us has been completely left unattended. It feels like another dimension has been closed for us because we just have decided that some guys are going to tell us what to do. And who are these guys who are telling us what to do? Is because we have institutionalized our mindset to only operate in a certain bandwidth. We think that if you are not educated enough, you don't have the right words to express. All of us are only talking through a certain language which has been programmed into us. We have thought in a certain way. We have been it's called mind bending. We are part of a mind bending exercise, globally, pandemically aligned for making a process of dumbing the intelligent human, which is capable of grasping the vibrational fields, the thoughtrons from higher dimension, and work through creatively different angles. So ecstatic rising is living up to your creative potential. The Kundalini would rise and give thousands and millions of ways of expressions. It is not limited to one way. If one particular musical note is given to a creative being, the improvisation, the creative angles given to it, the timing, it's like a mix of all the permutations and combinations possible to invoke the creative spirit to its purest expression. So each of us carry that essence, and that essence is derived from the gene code. It is derived from that star connections. The star portals need to be open. So as much as we want to rise, there is also a master grid which is watching us and wanting us to rise. It is like you create your own toy and you want the toy to be successfully dynamically mobile. We don't want it to be a failure, right? As much as we want to be a success, the designers also want us to be a success. So this ecstatic rising is a multifarious intervention. We don't know where it come from, but important aspect is it: are we open? Are we calibrated? Are we ready? Are we in a state of acceptance? Are we truly driven by that clarity of intent that what we're going to do with it? Along with power comes responsibility. Along with power comes a certain level of discipline, a certain level of remembrance, which enables us to be consciously aware that we are not going to make it difficult for ourselves, nor to the planet, nor to the people around us. So that is what rising means. Rising doesn't mean that you're going to have a big empire for yourself and then wonder what to do with these people now. So the important aspect here is a human rising would lead to more waves of compassion. To me, the ecstatic rising means the Kundalini would rise and have a divine explosion of light which would merge the electric with the magnetic and make us a strong magnetic field to have a disease-free instrument, impregnable fortress. It's called the Vajra Kavacha, the crystalline diamond armor, monocrystalline silicon it's a very fancy name given to a crystalline instrument in our pineal gland, and that is a very microscopic or microcosmic infusion which enables us to connect to the silicon component of this cosmos, which everything is conductivity. Remember this, we are conducive, we are transparent or transmutable. So energies are passing through our body. We don't know what to do with it because we are so lost in our outer project of trying to shape this world into a real estate menace. So we are so lost in our acquisition mode, we've forgotten how to be receptive. The ecstatic rising doesn't mean all of us have not got the gifts. We have the gifts, we don't know how to unfurl it. We don't know how to unwrap it. We don't know how to use it. So ecstatic rising means that Kundalini has to first of all have a depth and divine intent and purpose to be able to be useful, to be able to be capable of being guided. See, we have only a faint little small trickle of knowing. The rest of it is all intuitively guided by a higher source. That this is something which humans will find hard to digest because we thought we are the masters of this planet and we're going to be on top of everything. And then we realize that we are blown away by calamities and we feel so brittle and Even the 0.5 grams of COVID virus shook the whole world, and that's how brittle we are. So that means basically the ecstatic rising is a bridge between the core of the earth and the core of the central sun, and in that bridge is this massively sublime, powerful Kundalini Shakti, which joins the dots, connects us to the higher dimensions of light, and makes this picture more clear through either visions or through ability to sense and feel the energies, and or even hear cosmic sounds, connect us to the source of where the cosmic sound at celestial music is emerging from. So this is actually a combination of several things to make us more paravideha, means we are a body and we are not limited to this body. The whole cosmos is the body of the source, and a part of us is right now feeling fragmented and separate, and to join that dots and make us feel more cosmic in our existence. And then the beyond is beyond the scope of this discussion, and how we can be more and more liberated. But important aspect here is we start from where we are. We need to first have a disease-free body. We need to have all the receptors in us open enough to be able to sense and feel the transmissions passing through us. We need to have enough devotion and discipline and dedication, determination to follow a pathwork, to remain sublime and draw the essences of the nature, which is Amrita, the divine essence and nectar, the Soma, the incredible cerebrospinal connection, the connection with the star portals and the moon, and the essence of our entire food essence, which is coming through us, bodily creative juices which can be sublimed. So all this science has gone absolutely hazy, because we have now adopted a simple approach that if you have all the wealth in this world, is good enough for you to call it success. So what is real success? Is success based on how much money you have in your bank, or how you feel? And to me, ecstatic rising is the height of human awareness to its peak summit point, and that makes a difference.